Hello and welcome. Today I'll be doing a 2020 Senate election prediction. We are 2 weeks away from the election, but before we get started, please go and subscribe. We're currently at 328 subscribers. Let's hit 350 by the end of the month. So go and subscribe, and let's get started. So there's 35 seats up for election, and 30 Republicans and 35 Democrats that are not. I'm going to first fill in the safe Republican states. I have RCP polls up, which takes the average of polling. It is a pretty conservative predictor, just taking all the polls and averaging it out. The states that they fill in are most likely to stay where they are. The toss-ups are really the true toss-ups in the election. So we're going to start off with the safe Republican states: Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, West Virginia, giving Republicans 39 seats. Going over to the Democrats: Oregon, Illinois, Delaware, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, giving Democrats 41 seats. Going to Republicans for the likely states: Texas, Kansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Alaska, and South Carolina, giving Republicans 46 seats. The state of South Carolina has been looking to get closer. This is Lindsey Graham's seat. I think it will be won over a 5-point margin. It'll probably be a 7-point margin. It's going to be close against Harrison there, but we'll see what happens. It could get closer, or Graham could start gaining in polls. Marshall will, I think, win by 6 to 7 points against Barbara Boiler, and Tommy Tuberville will defeat Doug Jones in Alabama. Going over to the Democrats for likely states: New Mexico, Virginia, and New Hampshire, giving Democrats 44 seats, leaving 10 toss-ups, which is going to be lean or tilt. Going over to the already swing states that are most likely to go to the Democrats and Republicans. We're going to start off with the state of Arizona. I see it going lean. In RCP polls, it averages a 7.9-point lead for Mark Kelly over Martha McSally, which was appointed to the seat. This was John McCain's seat, and she was appointed by the governor. She ran in 2018 against Kristen Sinema, lost by 3 points, and is now having a tarnished record. She's going to be going up against a very strong candidate as well this time around. Sinema was, but Mark Kelly is even stronger in my opinion, with even McSally having a worse image than beforehand. I don't think it'll be a 7.9-point win. It could be, but I think it'll be probably 4.5, 5 points. Going over to Colorado with incumbent Cory Gardner going up against John Hickenlooper. Hickenlooper is definitely a very strong candidate, not for his charisma, but because he was a pretty popular governor there, and shows even in polling 8 to 9 points. I think it'll be one in the lean column. It could go in the likely, but I do see it being a little closer than what polls are showing. Same margin as Arizona, in my opinion. Going over to Georgia's second, we are having I think it's called a jungle primary, which has a ton of candidates up. We have Warnock, Loeffler, Collins, Lieberman, Tarver, and Slowinski. Warnock has a 10.6-point lead, mostly due to many endorsements. I think even Obama endorsed Warnock. I do see a pretty tough battle between Loeffler and Collins. If Collins gets in, it will be a more definite win for the Republicans. Loeffler has got a little bit of scrutiny over sales of stocks before the coronavirus and could actually hurt her in the election against Warnock. I don't see Lieberman at all getting it at this point with major endorsements to Warnock at the moment. But I do think the battle between Loeffler and Collins will be a hard-fought battle. I do feel that Collins will come up on top, though. So we're going to put that in the lean column. Going over to Minnesota, Smith averages a 7.2 lead. There was the latest poll here with Smith having 4 points. Is there any older polls from them? I don't see any. I've also seen Emerson have Smith at only a +3. Emerson's a pretty good pollster in my opinion as well. As well as Survey USA gives a 7-point lead. I do think this one will be closer with Tina Smith not riding on Amy Klobuchar's coattails in a Democratic wave year. It'll probably still be won by 3 to 4 points by Tina Smith. I don't see Jason Lewis taking the seat, though. So now it's 47-47. We're going into the more true toss-ups now. Starting with Montana, this is, in my opinion, becoming less and less of a toss-up with Daines getting +9 according to Emerson. There was the latest poll with Triple P, which gave a tie. I don't really like PPP too much. I think Emerson's a lot stronger of a poll. Even if we average the polls out, it still gives Daines a +3.3 lead over Steve Bullock. Steve Bullock was a pretty popular governor there, but this is a general election against an incumbent Republican, which has the whole GOP and Trump's backing. I don't really see Steve Bullock gaining the seat. It'll be close, but I don't think he'll be winning there. Going over to Iowa, Greenfield has improved in a lot of late polling. I don't think Greenfield will win. Trump is definitely going to win Iowa, and I feel like Ernst, with a lot of GOP backing and fundraising, even though Greenfield's got pretty heavy fundraising too, I think Joni Ernst will overcome Greenfield. But it will be a close race, probably a 2 to 3 point victory at max. We're going to go into Georgia now with Perdue having about 0.9 lead. I think Perdue is actually a pretty strong candidate, but also Jon Ossoff is as well. Perdue was having around a 4.5 point average lead beforehand, but there was a couple polls out. Quinnipiac kind of skewed it more towards Ossoff because, well, not because, but Quinnipiac isn't that great of a pollster. It's very left-wing leaning. I more believe Emerson and Survey USA. New York Times gives it a tie. I'd say this is a lean. I'd give Perdue the state probably by 3 points, 2.5 points. Earlier on, I was saying that Perdue was going to win the state, probably in a likely column, but Jon Ossoff's been proven as a pretty strong candidate so far. So now we have 50 Republicans to 47 Democrats. So the Republicans need the presidency to win or take one more seat if Joe Biden becomes president. So we have Michigan, North Carolina, and Maine left. We're going to start with Maine, and it gives Gideon a +4.2. Susan Collins has been elected for a long time and gaining a bigger margin each victory she's had, except for this election, which is going to be very close. It could be an upset, and Collins actually does overcome Gideon, but at the moment, I really don't see Collins winning. I did a election nights on Maine. I don't think it's going to be a 4-point victory. I do see this being pretty close, but at the moment, I see Gideon getting even stronger, probably getting a 2 to 3 point victory at the moment. Now giving Democrats 48 seats. Going to Michigan. This one I feel is going to be very interesting. Gary Peters isn't that exciting a candidate, and John James actually does have some excitement behind him. He actually ran close against Debbie Stabenow last time around, only losing by about 5.5, 6 points. And this time around, polling shows a closer race than beforehand as well. Last time showing about an 8-point lead, now showing a 4-point lead for Peters. James really got things together after June, getting his margin from a plus 10 Peters down to even a 3 and now a 4. This one's going to be very close in my opinion, but I do currently see it slightly favoring Peters. It could just be bad polling, but I do see Peters favored at the moment. Now down to North Carolina. I think the most important state in this Senate election cycle. Currently, Cunningham has a 3.5 lead over Tillis. Tillis in the latest poll was only behind by 2 points in ABC News, as well as only 1 point behind in the Emerson poll. I feel like Tillis is getting a little bit underpolled in a lot of these polls. I feel like the race is even closer than a 3-point margin. I feel like it's going to be decided by less than a percentage point. In the state of North Carolina, I have a feeling it is slightly favoring Tillis. Tillis is a very Trump Republican, and North Carolina is a pretty reliable Republican lean state. It's not safe. It's only gone to Democrats in 2008, which was Barack Obama, and back in the 70s to the Democrats again in a presidential year. And we're in a presidential year, which is going to have Tillis riding on Trump's coattails. I think he'll slightly get him over the line, but if this was the midterms, I feel like Cunningham would definitely sweep Tillis, giving Republicans 51 seats to Democrats 49, giving the Democrats a net 2 gain, and they're gaining in Arizona, Colorado, and Maine. Republicans picking up Alabama. Thank you for watching. Please go like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.